Hi and welcome to Game 4 of Defcon. With a rough first day, my aim has lowered a bit to reach top 10, and the first obstacle of the day is David and his Undying Dynasties. His list has two problems for me, which I don't think I will be able to take down, and those are the Sphinx and the Necropolis guards. Overall, I think I got the better end of the matchup, so it still looks good. His deploy looked like this, with the Chapters on the right, followed by archers, Necropolis guards with the general and the Hierophant. Next the Sphinx, skeletons with the Nomarch and archers behind. Furthest to the left is his horse archers. This picture also shows my left with all the raiders, acolytes and the kraken. In the middle I put my crossbows, and on the right I had the dancers with BSB, raven cloaks and the prince with the corsairs. The plan with the fast and shooty stuff was to deal with the chapters and the archers, while the rest hoped to avoid the Sphinx and guards, while still be able to get the scenario which was hold the ground for this game. He took first turn, and with some magic he moved his stuff all the way up as to where you see them. I was rather glad to see that he committed against the Kraken, since that gives me a chance to deal with his other block, and the Kraken itself can just dance around and stay out of combat the whole game as far as I'm concerned. Nothing is within range, so there is no shooting. In my turn I used the altar buff to make sure to get into his skeletons with the dancers. I didn't need a reroll to get in, so that felt awesome. On the right I moved the corsairs to aid in getting rid of the skeletons next turn, and the cloaks go to shoot at the horses. On the left everything goes up except the kraken. The crossbows back as far away from the Sphinx as possible. I shoot some archers, and magic might have put a wound on the chapters. I win the combat big time, but there is still about 30 of them left. In his turn he tries to charge the crossbows, and I first off pass my terror, and he then falls short on what should have been a rather average roll. The chapters reform to block me from charging the archers, and they almost succeed. The Necropolis guard turns their back on the Kraken and plan to flank the dancers. In combat he goes down to about 20 skeletons, and he might have raised some during the magic phase. I don't want to risk him getting into my flank, so I sacrifice a unit of acolytes to lock him for a turn. I do that by charging them into the rear of the guards. To get some more combat rest, I charge the corsairs into the skeletons. Over on his side, one raider unit made it past the chapters and clipped his archers with a charge. The crossbows just march out of the Sphinx arc, so things are looking good, I think. The remaining stuff keeps safe while still posing some charge threat. In combat things go quite good. I got the breath of corruption off, so the acolytes won big. The skeletons died to a man, but the Nomarch still lives. My prince flubbed a bit in the challenge against him, didn't kill him, and got wounded in return. The raiders won too, but being so few they won't last forever. His turn again, he shot a bunch of crossbows, who also fled when he finished off the acolytes. The chapters have reformed to face the raiders, who are steadily being grinded down. Sphinx tries to create some space behind his guards, I guess. My prince killed the Nomarch, but took a curse wound for the trouble, and are now down to 1 wound. Being free from combat, the prince and the corsairs charge the flank of the archers, while the dancers back out of range from his guards. His Sphinx didn't cover enough ground with his front arc, so raiders and kraken just snuck past. The rest of my cav went to harass his chapters, and the crossbows and rallied. One raider left fighting his archers, and at this point my only worry is if I can claim the objective or not. The other archers died, by the way. So turn 4, and his chapters killed the raider in combat, and turn against the other cav. His guards stay on the objective, and the Sphinx guard their back. In my turn, I turn the Corsairs around, shooting his forces down. Raiders take down the last of his archers. The turns are running few, so it's time to make sure his Shaptis doesn't make it to the middle. So I park a Raider unit close to them. The rest stays out of harm's way. He seems to get annoyed by my Kraken, so he turns the guards to face it. The Sphinx still watch their back, but from the front this time. The Shaptis turn to aim for the center, and that's it. I continue to just run around and be annoying, so I lied about his lost archers, by the way. I didn't shoot them down, but I ran them down with the Raiders this turn instead. The Kraken hides behind the Sphinx, and I divert the Shaptis from the middle. I also made sure all my scoring units could reach the objective. And his last turn, and he charged my Raiders with the Shaptis, and I flee. They failed to catch them, and now they also failed to reach the objective. I guess he made a futile attempt of keeping me from the middle by moving the Necropolis guard some, or perhaps tempt me to charge him. It's always hard to restrain from a glorious charge the last turn, I think, but I managed this time and could easily march all three of my scoring units in, and the Raiders also rallied. His Sphinx was actually somewhat damaged by stray shooting and dangerous terrain, so everything with a shooting weapon fired at it. It was almost enough, but it survived with one wound. So in the end I won the game by 16-4, and perhaps a bit inspired by the mirror loss the day before, this might have been one of my best played games ever. Keeping 3 nasty combat units away for a whole game while killing all else, and only losing 2 cav units is something I'm rather proud of, I must say. The hope for top 10 still lives, so see you soon for the last game.